Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to speak about the Inner Midfielder Pack, one of the most important. Why is so important? Because the primary skill is playmaking, one of the most common skill trained by the Hattrick users, the 30%. The inner midfielder support us to control the match, have the ball, more opportunity versus the opponent, trying to score more goals at the end. So now let's see how to build in a proper way the inner midfielder thanks to the national team packs and their targets. Let's see. We have our inner midfielder with the number 10. Before to start, general info. Inner midfielder, playmaking skill. So more you train playmaking, better is because you can gain action. But not only. You need your inner midfielder that is so relevant, is like the pillar of your team, need to have also defending skill to support the defense ratings and also passing mainly and a little bit of scoring to support the attack rating. So you need to know the weight of the skill and we will see right now with these targets. So the step 1 is 17 years old, buy the player in the market, promote from the youth team, but at the end is an example is defending 5, a playmaking 7, passing 6, scoring 5. More or less he has an overall good level of the skills. The sum skill of these 4 skills is 23, a potential of around 2100. You can buy a defending 4, playmaking 8 or a defending 4, playmaking 7, passing 7. Is not relevant. You will cover during the long term with your training plan. The important is that you have the skill, the sum skill, higher is better is, that 4 skill that are making strong the inner midfielder. After the 17 years old, you have 4 Hattrick season in which you will do just one thing, push playmaking skill at 16. Why? Because the under 21 team need to control the match, to fight in the midfield, and the only thing is push playmaking. So playmaking at 16. After that, from 21 to 22, during the competition of the under 21, depends on the scouting team. They can ask you to push playmaking until 17, to push more passing, to be more offensive. Depends. Also, maybe if you have a low defending skill, the coach can ask you to fine tuning defending. But at the end, the main target is 16 playmaking to gain the midfield for the under 21 and passing 7. This will support you also in the low series. So gradually you can be able to level up in the series, in the upper series. After that, you complete the whole cycle to reach 29 years old. You will reach 11 in defending. You will reach 19 in playmaking to gain as much as possible the ball in the midfield. You will pay a lot to the salary. Be aware of that. Passing 13, really important to support the attack ratings. Scoring, you have still no time here at 29 years old. For sure, after that, when you complete firstly these 3 skills, you can also fine tuning scoring at 7, 8, depend how much the national team will ask you, and also depend on the player, because for example, if you have a quick player, it's good push a little bit more the scoring skill for the special event. A specialty, unpredictable, quick and add. In an inner midfielder pack, my favorite one is diversify with all these 3 specialties. Depends also how you build the team around also in the other roles. Now, these are the steps. Let's see the plan. The same configuration of the previous video. Keep in mind always 12 season to be competitive, really competitive. Be aware of the age when push in the competitive phase, the leagues. The experience so relevant, I told you already last time, I won't repeat, just remember at least 10, you can do also 15 just with the experience in your club. This is the plan. So as I was mentioning to you, playmaking for 4 Hattrick season, you reach 16, you do your passing during the competition of under 21. You reach 22 years old when the player cannot play in the under 21. Melee, an example, 16 playmaking, and 9 passing. Now you finish the competition. You can decrease another time the stamina that you increased during the competition at 18. Now you can decrease at 10%. I suggest you to complete the defending cycle. You do your 2 Hattrick season, you reach 11, and that's it. You finish the defending cycle. It's so important because you are still with a team young. You are not you are in low series, so maybe you are able to create a quite good counter attack that guarantee you a little bit of fun into season, and you finish it. And after that, you switch into playmaking another time. You can play 3-5-2, 2-5-3, and you can have fun with a good level of midfield, already a good defense because you trained, and you can level up. You can level up the series. Meanwhile, your midfield will increase, and so your midfield, you will understand that your midfield will be enough for the next series. When you reach 28 and a half years old, you reach 19 in playmaking, and you can switch in passing to reach 13. That you will reach 13, I think, depending on the potential, but you can also reach not at 29 years old and 0 days, but maybe 29 and 50 days, for example. Now, so this is really easy, the Inner Midfielder Pack. Playmaking and passing. Defending, you finish defending, playmaking and passing, and you have a strong inner midfielder. You can have 3 inner midfielders with different specialties, and you are a monster. You can control the matches, and really you can have really fun. And here we are with the packs economics, an important part of the packs of the strategy. The Inner Midfielder Pack is one of the less remunerative, I have to say, compared to the others. Why? Because we are training for a lot of season playmaking, and a lot of users are training it, therefore there is a lot of offer and the price are a little bit lower compared to other kind of role. Anyway, you are able to create cash on top of your starting budget. 35 millions around is the example. And I recommend you start with a good budget because you need it also to maintain the salary of your inner midfielder that will be huge at the end of the cycle. First step, 17-22 years old, 6 core players, your full pack of the inner midfielder. You can keep this time until the under 21 phase to check which one will be your core player. Maybe someone you already know because he's with the on bonus, because he's really stronger versus the others. Maybe you don't know for someone, maybe because you diversify the risk, you buy different players of different countries, and you want to see which one will have more experience after the under 21 cycle. At 22 years old, you have a better overview. Maybe you can think in the long term which one will have more matches in the national team. This means also experience, but not only, also a little bit reduction of salary. So keep in mind all these facts and decide which will be the core player, the yellow one that will be trained for the whole cycle. The orange one you can decide already to sell during the switch into defending. At 22 years old, the value of them will be around 3 million, 4 million, so 10 million, 12 million of income if you sell them in that moment. Why you need to sell the secondary player that you had in the full pack? Because at the end you need 3 inner midfielder. If you want to keep someone, the fourth, but at the end, when you play competitive in 3-5-2, you put 3 inner midfielders. So it's better sell the secondary player to create cash, investing them, without paying also the salary of them that step by step will increase really a lot, reaching higher skills. So this is the first window. The second window will be after the defending cycle. On top of your core players, the yellow one, you can add 7 players, some in the championship, some in the friendly matches. The example is with these 7 young defenders that will have 17 years old with 7 defending, and after 2 Hattrick season they will be 19 with 12 defending, and they will the value of them will be around 1.5 millions. If you sell all of them, you can create 10 million of income. This is the quick example. Maybe you can buy young player for the friendly matches. Maybe you can buy stronger player a little bit older, maybe with some passing to improve your counter-attack tactic, maybe with a little bit more of defending. Just try to keep in consideration the level up of the defending skill, the purchasing cost, because you need to create at least the 1.5 million that I'm giving to you as example to create the same profit if you want to sell them after the defending cycle. These 5 players can support you to compete in a good way during the championship. After that, we have another important cycle of playmaking, and you can do the same strategy of the first step. So your core player will be trained during the championship and will support you to fight in the leagues. Meanwhile, the blue ones can be young players that can be trained at poor profit to create other 10-12 million after the end of the cycle of playmaking. This is just an example. Also here you can do even better strategy. Depend on your starting budget. If you have a lot of budget, you can also think to buy a defender completed in defending, a winger completed in winger, a forward completed in scoring, maybe a PNF powerful striker to complete in the playmaking skill. So you can train them in the friendly matches, and you can put in the leagues to push the ratings of your team, and that means that you can be able to be even more competitive. Depends on your budget. This is an example in which you pay young players and you are generating poor profit with the slot of the friendly matches. Depend on you and how much money you want to make. The last part of the cycle will be passing. With passing you have a lot of profit slots. You will also use in the championship, in the league matches, to boost your players that are near to be completed, not only your core players but maybe other players like the wing or the forward that maybe you bought, and in the friendly match you can use it to do some profit. Here we are with the conclusion, pro and cons. Let's start from the pro of the Inner Midfielder Pack. First one, if you like playmaking skill, you like to train playmaking, you like to play 3-5-2, focus on the Inner Midfielder Pack, guarantee you to build the most competitive inner midfielder of the game. You can focus on the loyalty, on the experience, the right specialty in the right place. You will control the match with your pillars in the middle of your 3-5-2, and you will win the midfield versus the opponent. You need to do it. So this is the first step. The second one is that, considering that from the 25 years old more or less, you will train playmaking another time for a lot of season, you will play 3-5-2, 2-5-3, will be easy for you, step by step, reach the top series, and gradually will be in a natural way will reach the top series, and you will raise the stamina and you will compete. So this for me is another important point as training plan. The third pro is that the Inner Midfielder Pack is including a long cycle of playmaking, and the playmaking skill is needed in a lot of roles, the most relevant one that support you always in your strategy to control the midfield. And so if you think an advanced way to leverage on this pack after the under 21 cycle, after the 22 years old, meanwhile you are waiting the peak and to reach the national team and to be competitive at 29 years old, you can add, as I was mentioning before, other kind of player like the defender already completed in defending, the forward already completed in scoring, and you will complete them in playmaking. And at the end, you can have 6 core players that will be 6 out of 11 players in the field that will be your core players and they can boost your ratings with the loyalty. So this for me is another good reason to choose this pack, and this is also the reason why I started with this pack before the defender pack, the winger pack, the forward pack, because the playmaking skill is needed for a lot of them. And now be careful, because we are introducing the cons, and I think the cons are just economic aspects. Why? Because firstly, to maintain and to keep this inner midfielder, your three pillars, you will pay a lot the salary from 26 years old until the peak, because step by step, when you are near the 19 in playmaking, the salary will increase weekly. You pay a lot. So you need to have a solid economy in your club to pay them. On top of that, if you do an advanced strategy and you add also a defender, a winger, a forward in your cycle, you also need to pay them, because also them will be strong player. So you need to ensure, before to focus on 6 core players, you need to be sure to have the money to pay them weekly. The second cons is the fact that when you will have a look at the 30 years old market and the senior one, also the senior even older, you will understand that some players are so expensive, like the goalkeeper, someone are less expensive, for example the inner midfielder. Why? Always for the same reason. The people are, the Hattrick user mainly is training playmaking, therefore won't so difficult to find the market quite good level of inner midfielder, cheaper versus other role. So why build a long-term strategy on the inner midfielder if I can find with a cheaper solution in the market? For someone this point could be a problem, for others not, because maybe as user you want to build your strategy around the 3-5-2 to control the match, to have better ratings in the midfield and control the ball versus the opponent. And anyway, if you buy a senior player in the market, that player won't have the same skills of yours that is tailor-made, won't have the same loyalty, and maybe won't be a homegrown player. And so if you add the loyalty, the bonus, etc., at the end your ratings in the midfield will be really huge. So this more or less is the overview. You have all the elements to understand if this is the pack for you. With that, I really thank you to watch the video until now. Thanks, follow the channel, see you in the next video, ciao ciao.